say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, Patriots. You had many places to be tonight. You chose to be here with me for this special report, and for that, I am forever grateful, and I thank you very, very much. As you all know by now, we have a full-blown civil war that is taking place in Los Angeles, a little bit happening in New York City, and I do believe that there will be other locations that will be hot spots in the very near future. And it is important that you understand how we got where we're at right now, and understanding the false narrative that is being told to you, the American people, about what is actually going on and why it's going on. We have currently active duty United States Marines assisting in California and LA with these riots, as well as over 2,000 National Guard members that have been taken away from the command of Governor Gavin Newsom and put under federal orders to support this operation. And the reason why that has happened is because Governor Gavin Newsom of California has decided not to use their law enforcement, city, state level, to back up the men and women on the ground in ICE, Border Patrol. Therefore, President Trump did not have much of a choice. He had to do what he did, which is bring in firepower, for a better way of putting it. Now, there are all across social media, especially on YouTube, left-wing or left-leaning pundits that people believe are experts on what they're talking about when it comes to how we got where we're at and why this is happening. And they believe them because they have 1 million followers, 1.5 million followers, 2 million followers of far left liberals that tune into them on a daily basis. And they believe, because of the amount of followers that they have, that what they're telling them is the gospel. And they don't realize they're being lied to, because those people, especially on YouTube, that have these million-plus followers, have absolutely zero experience in what's happening on our border, what's happening with illegal aliens, what's happening with gang members, with the cartels, how law enforcement operates. They're stuck on stupid and full-blown Trump derangement syndrome with everything they talk about. So this is giving them a feeding frenzy. It's like chumming the water for sharks, and the liberals are just clinging to them. Now, I'm not going to tell you the names of the people that we're talking about here. Do a little homework, you'll figure it out on your own, because I don't want them to get any more subscribers or any more people to follow their crazy ideology. I can tell you this much. There's somebody on YouTube right now, for instance, and he's got his own website, and he's on other social media platforms as well, that has zero experience in what's happening when it comes to our border and what ICE is doing. Zero. None. And they're tuned in tonight. I know that. They're watching this show, hoping that I'm going to drop their name. Well, that's not going to happen. Again, because they have no experience in anything they're talking about. They're liars, and they're just pushing this far left liberal ideology, this narrative that is being brought to you by none other than the party that I used to belong to, the Democrat Party, the party that has lost its way. The Democrat members of Congress, we've already watched since Israel was attacked by Hamas. We have watched that they support Hamas terrorists. They support Hamas terrorists over American citizens and over Israel. And now we're watching that they support illegal aliens and illegal criminal aliens that have committed really serious crimes over Americans. And this is going to cost the Democrat Party serious, serious problems come midterms. And I can't wait for them to get here. If they happen tomorrow, we'd probably win back we would probably add massive amounts to the House and the Senate. It's just that simple. Now, there are people, I've read your comments, I've seen your messages and your emails you've sent me. Well, Doug, what do you know? How are you any different than them? You just sit up there and you spew right-wing stuff. Well, if you listen to my podcast, you'd know that that's not what I do at all. I don't care what party you belong to. Yes, I'm a registered Republican today, but I grew up a staunch Democrat. Many of my family members were Democrat senators, congressmen, and also a governor of the state of Louisiana, all Democrats. So I know a lot about the Democrat Party. That aside, what a lot of people don't realize about me, they know about my military service. They don't know about my law enforcement service. They don't realize how in-depth the knowledge is of what's happening on our border, besides the fact that if you went to DouglasDucote.com, my website, you've seen the border documentaries that we've done, the Border Patrol people we've interviewed, the county sheriffs down on the border. We've brought all that to the American people to see for yourself what's taking place. So let's talk about, for a moment before we dive into this show tonight, why my opinion is factual information based on these liberal pundits out there, especially on YouTube, that know absolutely jack shit about what they're talking about. I spent 12 years in law enforcement. 6 of that was in county law enforcement with the sheriff's department. Another 6 of that was in federal law enforcement. You know what I did? Besides being in California in county law enforcement, dealing with gang members from south of the border, MS-13, Serrano gangs, Norteño gangs, sex trafficking, human trafficking, drug trafficking. But in federal law enforcement, I deployed all over Mexico, Central and South America, places like Venezuela, for instance, involved in stopping the drug trafficking, involved in stopping the sex trafficking of women and children, involved in stopping murderers and rapists from coming across our southern border and killing Americans. 12 years of my life was spent dealing with exactly what Tom Homan, the border czar, is dealing with right now. Besides that, today I still have personal friends that I get emails from on a daily basis, text messages on a daily basis, letting me know what's currently taking place. These are friends that are in the Border Patrol, that work for ICE, that work for county sheriff's offices, state police, FBI, and they're feeding me information about what's factual. And they're answering questions that I may have. A few things have changed as far as laws are concerned. Nothing's changed with the Constitution, but a few things have changed as far as laws are concerned about how we conduct business in law enforcement. And they help me get that correct so that when I come on and I talk to you, it's 100% accurate and it's factual information. And that's all I want, is I want you to understand what is actually taking place. Now, this is fact. ICE is not going out rounding up illegal aliens, and their only crime was coming across our southern border and entering America illegally. That is a lie being told to you by the left and pundits that they bring on MSNBC and CNN that are lying to you. Democrat members of the House and Senate up in Washington, D.C. are lying to you about that. Now, or there's some people being picked up in these ICE raids that their only crime happens to be that they came across the border illegally? Yes. And why is that? They weren't targeted. That's not who they went after. But in the process of going after the person that they went to apprehend, they were there harboring them or involved with what they were doing without ICE knowing about it. And therefore, yes, they're rounded up because now they've committed another crime on top of the fact that they came in illegally. Will ICE eventually get to those people that their only crime was they came across the border and they're illegals? Maybe, considering Trump only has 3.5 years left. I doubt it very seriously, because there are millions and millions of people that ICE has to go after and get rid of to make America safe again. And that's what they're doing. Now, who are they going after? This is factual information. You can take this to the bank. The Biden administration allowed well over 2 million illegal aliens into our country, while their Department of Homeland Security lied and said the border was secure, while Democrat members of Congress lied and said the border was secure. When ICE, or not ICE, I'm sorry, let me back up. When Border Patrol would apprehend these people and do background checks and find out that they were bad hombres that did not belong here because they had committed crimes in the country they came from and had escaped or served their time and came here to do crime. We're talking about murderers, rapists, sex traffickers of women and children, gang members, drug traffickers, the worst of society. That is who ICE is targeting. But Border Patrol, when they got them and they realized what their backgrounds were, the Biden administration ordered them not to deport them, to let them loose onto the streets of America with a return to court date to plead their case as to why they should be allowed to stay here. They even gave them cell phones and an app where they could report in and know where to show up. Well, how many of those rapists, murderers, child molesters, drug traffickers do you think actually showed up for their court date in 4 years? None. Zero. What did they do? You watched it on your media, news media. They continued to commit crimes in America, raping women, sexually molesting children, killing innocent people, helping continue sex trafficking across the border, receiving them on our side, as well as drugs. And then what would happen when local law enforcement would pick them up for that new crime? Liberal judges would let them back out the door again and back on the streets, and some of them commit more crimes. There was nobody being held accountable for 4 years about the terror that was happening on the streets in America. The Biden-Harris administration, their Department of Justice, their FBI, their Homeland Security were crooked, evil people who did not care about the American citizens. They cared more, as we talked about a few minutes ago, terrorists, and now terrorists that have been labeled terrorists because they were gang members. All gang members coming from South America and Mexico are now classified as terrorists because that's what they're doing here in America. They're terrorizing us. That is who we're trying to get off the streets of this country. Now, let's zero in on what happened in California, because you're not being told the truth. This is the facts. This operation that started over there wasn't necessarily to just go pick up these bad people. It was to go into several companies, businesses that were harboring these bad people, allowing them to work for them, knowing what their crimes were, and working with them. And on top of that, there was tax evasion type things. There was human trafficking taking place. These were several companies that ICE went to. Now, knowing that once they go in there, what they're going to find, from sweatshops to prostitution, it was a lot of different things. That triggered the protesters that started coming out. And first, it was peaceful protesting, which is allowed under our Constitution. To this moment, at any time, if you want to protest, there's a way of doing it, and you can do it peacefully. But the moment you turn violent, you start trying to shut down interstate systems and roads. You start attacking police officers, graffitiing buildings, Trump sucks, fuck ICE, attacking police officers with bricks, Molotov cocktails, torching police cars. No, it's no longer a protest anymore. It's no longer protected under the United States Constitution. Now you become a violent criminal. Now, who do you think these rioters are? Some of them, yes, are from the Antifa crowd, helping stir the pot. Some of them are for the BLM crowd, helping stir the pot. Both of those are heavy groups on the West Coast. And they're pouring gas on the fire. Now, who are the ones that are from other countries in Mexico? Do you think they're the ones that came over here illegally and applied for U.S. citizenship and became an American citizen, or are waiting for their paperwork to go through to become an American citizen? No. They're criminals. They're thugs. And why is there so many in California, for crying out loud? In LA? Because it is a sanctuary city and they're protected and they know it. So those that you see out there doing all this damage, they're the people that ICE is going to be going after and would be going after had it not been for what's happening after they just tried to take down these businesses that were harboring these people and committing other criminal acts. So, the Democrat members up in Washington, D.C. come out and are trying to tell the American people that these are law-abiding citizens and that there's no violence taking place. It's only a few select people that are doing this. The mayor of L.A., same thing. She's smoking Hunter Biden crack. And of all people, the governor of the state of California, when ICE was on their radios calling for backup because they're being attacked, the mayor and the governor made local law enforcement stand down and not assist. And that is why Donald Trump had no other choice but to send in the National Guard and then reach out to the sheriff's departments and say, hey, you're not elected by the mayor like the city police chiefs are. Will you please help our ICE officers? And the sheriff said, hell yes. And so sheriff's departments from numerous places that are elected by the people went in to help back up. But that's not enough of them. They needed the highway patrol. They needed LAPD. They needed all the local PDs from all the different surrounding cities of LA, and there's many of them, to come in and get involved. And Gavin Newsom said no. And the mayor of LA said no. They took an oath to defend and protect the citizens of California and to uphold the Constitution. And they failed that oath miserably. In fact, criminally. And I hope, and it's a good possibility, that we will see possibly Governor Newsom in handcuffs and Mayor Bass as well, because they are not only harboring illegal aliens with their sanctuary city, which doesn't exist under federal law, but they're trying to say that their state laws trump federal law. And the Constitution lays it out plain and simple that that's not true. Federal law trumps state law. This is why the president had to take away the National Guard powers as Governor Newsom as commander-in-chief of the California National Guard and activate them on Title 10 federal status to use them. He is a disgrace, not only to the people of California, but to this country. And so is Mayor Bass. They would prefer to see the ICE agents who are trying to take down criminals and get murderers and rapists and sex traffickers off the streets. They would rather see ICE agents be injured and are killed than allow that to happen. What type of sick, evil son of a bitch would go to that level? They are harboring illegal aliens. That is a crime, a federal crime. It is a felony to do what they're doing. And this goes the same thing for all mayors and all governors throughout America that have sanctuary states or sanctuary cities. So how do you fix this? You arrest them for violating federal law and endangering law enforcement and harboring illegal alien, gang members, murderers, rapists, sex traffickers, drug traffickers, the same people they're trying to protect. I'm so disgusted to say that I used to be a Democrat, to see what they're doing right now. This isn't the Democrat Party that I served for, that I was part of, that my family was part of. This party was hijacked by far liberal ideology. And we're seeing the Maxine Waters and the AOCs and the Rashida Tlaibs and Alihan Omar and Anita Presley and Jasmine Crockett, Cory Booker, Hank Jeffries, just staring into the camera and lying to the American people about what's happening in California, and lying about what ICE is doing, and lying about what Donald Trump is doing. And Maxine Waters, as far as I'm concerned, yes, she should be put in handcuffs too. She should be arrested for what she is doing. And I'd like you to watch just a little clip I put together of Maxine Waters in action in the past 24 hours.
Is an organized labor, head of a local SEIU union. I don't know why they picked him up. I don't know what they're going to do to him. I don't want them to deport him. I think that he is being targeted, but our city is being targeted because we're a sanctuary city. Trump hates us. He does not like this city. He's trying to intimidate, and he sent the guns in here on us. The governor didn't know anything about the National Guard coming here. He did it on his own. We can't be intimidated. We've got to get the people out. We've got to get the elected officials out. We've got to resist him. I'm going back out into the communities where ICE was last night to make sure people know that their elected officials are standing with them. Thank you.
What's your next step now?
I'm going out to Lenox and to Paramount, Watts, and South Central where they were last night to see if ICE is back out there.
How about a message for the community?
The community is, don't be intimidated. Don't be afraid. Do what we did in the civil rights movement. Protest peacefully. Get out. Make your voices heard. The more people we're able to engage, the more we can push back on them. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The person she's talking about, by the way,
I think that he has been targeted.
Was picked up, a city council member was picked up by ICE for interfering with law enforcement activity, endangering law enforcement. And oh, by the way, he happens to be an illegal alien in California. That's who she's upset about. So then she goes to the facility he's at.
But our city is being targeted because we're a sanctuary city. Trump hates us. He does not like this city. He's trying to intimidate, and he sent the guns in here on us. The governor didn't know anything about the National Guard coming here. He did it on his own. We can't be intimidated. We've got to get the people out. We've got to get the elected officials out. We've got to resist him. I'm going back out into the communities where ICE was last night to make sure people know that their elected officials are standing with them. Thank you.
What's your next step now?
I'm going out to Lenox and to Paramount, Watts, and South Central where they were last night to see if ICE is back out there.
How about a message for the community?
The community is, don't be intimidated. Don't be afraid. Do what we did in the civil rights movement. Protest peacefully. Get out. Make your voices heard. The more people we're able to engage, the more we can push back on them. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Someone that's in charge, that can, an elected official has a right
Now she
to
arrives,
go in
building
to
with
check out
explosives.
what's going on. Who can I speak to? You know, anybody? I want you to, hello. Congresswoman Waters, I just came to use my congressional authority to check on David.
Ma'am, our lobby is secure right now to all visitors.
Excuse me, I need to get in.
Contact our public apparel.
I need to get in.
Stop. All visitors.
Excuse me, I need to get in.
Contact our public apparel.
I need to get in.
What are you hoping to do, Congresswoman?
I just want to see David Werther. Right.
You apply the right way and you call them to make an appointment.
Would a congressperson normally be able to enter the...
Normally, yes.
No, that's a lie.
Yes.
You make an appointment.
Well, there were some of the authorities, I don't know who they were, and I'm trying to get in to see David Werther, who they have arrested. He is the head of SEIU local union here. I don't know why he was targeted. I don't know what they're doing with him. I don't know whether they're going to deport him. I want to report back to my caucus about what's happening, but they have. But what I'm opposed to in this act, my bill that I have again, and I will reiterate, has been done with Abu Dhabi. And Abu Dhabi, how much did Abu Dhabi put into? $2 billion to Bayance? So let me start by saying, the unfortunate reality is that I call the complexity structure, not an act, not a single provision in this bill addresses the crimes I've laid out. We will discuss what Republicans are so afraid to do, that not just Democrats, but also the American public, the crypto industry, and even some in their own administration have raised regarding this bill. And while the lack of provision to stop Trump's
I now recognize the ranking member of the chair of the Digital Assets Financial Technology. You're over time, Madam Ranking Member.
Mr. Chairman,
Gentlewoman.
point of privilege. How long did you take with your opening statement?
4 minutes.
It looked longer.
Well, that's because it was the truth.
Proud of her, Democrats? Proud of her?
And to have the National Guard come with guns and not have protesters, that's not realistic. People have to stand up for what is right. They have to stand up not to be deported without having an opportunity to make their application and to tell their case and show why it is important for them and not to be where they're coming from because their lives are in danger. I warned this country about him early on in his first tenure, you know. I knew he was capable of this kind of disruption. And so now we're getting what I always knew he would be like. This is a dishonorable, cruel individual who only cares about himself. And he's using deportation as a way to enhance his position with all of those right-wingers out there who do not want this country to be a country of people coming from other places. It's outrageous, it is horrible, and we've got to make sure that we do everything that we possibly can, because I think he's up to creating martial law. He even alluded to civil war.
Martial law.
There's been no violence where anybody that was protesting hit anybody, shot anybody, threatened anybody. Nothing has happened. You may have people, one or two or a few people, who will not conform. That happens everywhere. That happens in our workplace. There's always someone who does something. But we are saying to people, don't be goaded. Don't be goaded into a confrontation. Don't be goaded into violence, because that's what Trump wants. He wants the violence so that he can send in the military and create martial law. That's what he wants. And if a few people were doing that, so I don't know what all this so-called violence is all about.
So then she went and confronted the troops.
They should not be treated this way. They should be given an opportunity to tell their story, whom they are, and why they're here.
There's one statement that a message that you can send to Donald Trump. What is that message here today?
My message to Donald Trump is you are a cruel human being. Believe these guns. Look at the guns. These young people didn't get into service to kill people like this.
Exactly.
Look at the guns. That is scary. I want y'all to take pictures of these guns and let people know that they're in our city with guns, and I'm sure they have orders to shoot and kill. I don't know, but otherwise they wouldn't have guns. Why the guns? Why are these guns here? That's my question. I don't get why the guns have to be here. I think he's up to creating martial law. He's going to try to goad us so that he has a martial law. He even alluded to civil war at one point.
You got your Civil War, lady.
I don't know why you're in my city. You did. The governor was not contacted. This is Trump and his outrageous attempt to not only target our sanctuary city, but to frighten us and intimidate us. This is wrong, and I hope that none of you will use those guns to shoot anybody. There's no reason to shoot anybody. Don't allow them to make your service in a service where you're killing people. Don't do it. Defy them. Don't shoot those guns for anything.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
California, that's your representative up in Congress. Democrats, are you happy with that? According to Maxine Waters, why is the National Guard there? Newsom didn't know about it. Oh, yes, Newsom did know about it, you lying sack of shit. And why do they have guns? For the same reason that your security detail has guns, to protect you. Same reason that law enforcement has guns, to protect the American citizens from bad hombres that want to kill them. That's who Democrats push up as great people. And then she has the nerve to say that it's only a few isolated incidents of violence, no different than what happens in any workplace, that the majority of everything is all peaceful protesting. What fucking planet did this woman just come from? Maxine Waters, have you not seen what's happening in LA right now?
Make it great like 92! Patriot afraid of you! Patriot afraid of you! Fuck I! Fuck I! Fuck I! Fuck I! Fuck I! Fuck I! Fuck Trump! Fuck Trump! Fuck Trump! Fuck Trump! Fuck Trump! Fuck Trump! Fuck the system! Fuck the system! Fuck the system! Fuck the system! Burn it down! 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 Burn it down!
That is a Waymo car now on fire. It looks like a lot of those cars have been targeted by the demonstrators, tagged and destroyed.
What we're seeing in Los Angeles is chaos that is provoked by the administration.
One officer reporting Molotov cocktails.
And when you run armored caravans through our streets, you cause fear and you cause panic.
As we can see one individual breaking windows on those Waymos, and there's that other Waymo that's on fire. And all three of these, I think I counted 4, have been completely hit by graffiti.
And deploying federalized troops is a dangerous escalation.
And you can see one person leaning on the hood, taking a selfie with that Waymo that's on fire, and a lot of messages from protesters being painted on these Waymos right now on a Sunday night.
I call on all Angelenos to continue expressing your right, your anger, your outrage, but to do it peacefully.
We're starting to see some explosions emerge from that. You see the fuel now on the street now burning on the surface of Los Angeles Street, and people still maintaining a really close proximity. You see those flames coming out of there really fast and powerful.
Peaceful protesters. Why would the president send in troops? I don't understand.
Squad cars from North Hollywood Division.
And the Democrat members in Congress want you to believe that Trump sent in federal troops, the National Guard he activated, and the Marines to fight against peaceful protesters. That's what Cory Booker's telling you every few hours. Hakeem Jeffries, AOC, all of them, Maxine Waters, all spewing lies. And besides the horrible hombres that ICE is going after, and I've already told you they're not going after people whose only reason, their only crime was coming across our southern border illegally. The other people they're going after, besides the rapists, the murderers, the drug traffickers, the human traffickers, are those that have already had due process during the Biden-Harris era and were ordered to be deported by a judge, and yet the Biden-Harris administration let them back out to come back at a different time and date for their actual deportation, which was never going to happen in those 4 years. Nor did it. But yet, if you listen to them, oh, my Lord, we're going after innocent men and women that came across the border and their only crime is they were illegal. And in some cases, what you're going to see here in a moment, there are Democrat members of Congress that actually believe in their little brains that even coming across the border is not a crime. But before we get into that, here's a little clip of Gavin Newsom. And you got to see this and hear it to believe it.
Dream. There's no Alabama dream. Eat your heart out, Texas, Tennessee, and Florida. This is California. The world looks to us to see that it's possible to live, advance, and prosper together across every conceivable difference. It's what makes this state great, that we don't tolerate that diversity as we once had, but we truly can look today and talk in terms of how we celebrate that diversity.
MAGA Pill 99, y'all did a great job on that.
Get your hands off these poor people. They're just trying to live their lives, man. Trying to live their lives, paying their taxes, been here 10 years. The fear, the horror. The hell is this guy? Come after me, arrest me. Let's just get it over with. Tough guy. You know, I don't give a damn. But I care about my community. I care about this community. The hell are they doing? These guys need to grow up. They need to stop. And we need to push back. And I'm sorry to be so clear, but that kind of bloviating is exhausting. So, Tom, arrest me. Let's go.
Please, please put that son of a gun in handcuffs, along with Mayor Bass.
From ICE.
For it to be in the country illegally, first of all, I mean, there's nothing in the immigration law that says you got to be convicted of a serious crime to be removed under the INA. So if you're in the country illegally, ICE can visit you. But right now, as we said repeatedly, and the President Trump's been clear, we're concentrating on the worst first, the public safety threats, the national security threats. And just yesterday, in the last 24 hours, ICE arrested over 308 serious criminals. Some of them were murderers. Some of them were rapists. Some of them raped a child. Some were sexual assault of a child. So ICE is doing their job, and they're prioritizing just as the president said they would. So the ICE is performing excellent right now out in the field, and they're going to continue every day.
The governor of New Jersey, Phil Murphy, basically admitted that he knew somebody that didn't have full documentation, that he was hiding over his garage.
But there's someone in our broader universe whose immigration status is not yet at the point that they are trying to get it to. And we said, you know what, let's have her live at our house above our garage. And good luck to the feds coming in to try to get her.
Your comment on all of that?
Well, I think the governor's pretty foolish, same way he said, because I got note of it. Won't let it go. We'll look into it. And if he's knowingly harboring, concealing an illegal alien, that's a violation of Title 8 United States Code 1324. I would seek prosecution, or the secretary would seek prosecution. So maybe he's bluffing. If he's not, we'll deal with that.
Democrat governor harboring.
Have you ever held a deceased child in your arms? First of all, your comments are disgusting. I've served my country. I've served my country for 34 years. I find your comments disgusting as well. I've served my country for 34 years. And yes, I held a 5-year-old boy in my arms in back of that tractor trailer. I knelt down beside him and said a prayer for him because I knew what his last 30 minutes of his life were like. And I had a 5-year-old son at the time. What I've been trying to do my 34 years serving my nation is to save lives. So for you to sit there and insult my integrity and my love for my country and for children, that's why this whole thing needs to be fixed. And you're the member. We agree on that. Fix it. This room has seen what I've seen in my 34-year career. Very well. No one has experienced what I've experienced. I saw many dead bodies coming across this border. And you want to talk about the memo? This memo is one option to stop death. Not just about enforcing the law, stop death. If you want to legalize illegal immigration, good luck with that, because it's going to get a hell of a lot worse on that border. If you say, okay, from now on, there will be no consequence, no deterrence. It's not illegal to come to this country illegally. More families would come. 31% women would be raped. More children would die. We're a nation of laws. If you don't like it, sir, change it. You're the legislator. I'm the executive branch, and I've served my country honorably for 34 years. And I will not sit here and have anybody say that I don't care about children because you're not the same color as my children.
Democrat, member of Congress.
Border czar Tom Homan sends a tough message to sanctuary cities that harbor illegals. Watch.
Trump's actions. And again, and get back sanctuary cities. They want to keep their game going. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get together with Secretary Noem. We're going to flood these sanctuary cities with federal agents. If we can't arrest a bad guy in the jail, we're going to arrest him on the street. We got to do it stronger. We got to do it faster. If we can't do it in the streets, then we're going to increase worksite enforcement operations in those sanctuary cities. We're going to flood worksite enforcement operations. If we can't arrest them at the home, then we'll arrest them at workplace. We're coming to sanctuary cities. We're going to put all hands on deck. Sanctuary cities are not going to get away with this illegality that's killing Americans at record numbers. I'm disgusted at every representative on the Hill who isn't fighting with ICE to arrest every public safety threat, every national security threat roaming around these communities. President Trump made a promise. We're going to keep that promise.
So the recommendation of the many that you recommended family separation.
I recommend zero tolerance.
Which includes family separation.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
Zero tolerance was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from his
Homan, with
family.
all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
When you're into the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum, you go through the port of entry, do it the legal way. The Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
Okay.
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on national security?
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
Democrat members of Congress support rapists, murderers, sex trafficking of women and children, gang members, sex offenders, drug traffickers that are illegal aliens over you, the American people. Just like they're supporting Hamas terrorists. You saw it happen. You saw AOC and Alejandro Omar, Rashida Tlaib go down there to these protests on college campuses and stand with these students protesting against Israel in support of Hamas terrorists. And they're doing the exact same thing now with the illegal aliens. You couldn't make this shit up if you tried. Why more and more Democrats aren't fed up with that party like I was and ditch it? I don't know. I do know that thankfully there are a bunch, even members of Congress that are Democrats that have said, I can't support this shit anymore. And they're switching parties. Most aren't switching to Republican, they're switching to independent, but they're leaving the Democrat Party because the Democrat Party left the American people a long time ago. But you listen to those out there on social media, especially places like YouTube, that have over 1 million followers, and therefore believe because they've got 1 million followers or 1.5 or 1.5 or 2 million followers, they must be telling you the truth. Then you're a gullible, stupid son of a bitch. Because they're not. They're lying to you. I can't stress that enough. And every one of those members of Congress that are supporting illegal gang members, rapists, murderers, drug traffickers, sex traffickers of women and children, and Hamas terrorists over American people should go and be charged accordingly. And I do hope that we'll see in the very near future that happening. I do realize that right now the Department of Justice and the FBI and Homeland Security are over freaking whelmed with what the Biden administration left them with. And it's horrible, my friends. Absolutely horrible. Trying to weed through this crap. I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. I don't blame Joe Biden for the situation we're in, because Joe Biden was mentally not capable of knowing what the fuck was going on. He just wasn't. I don't know if it was Joe Biden that was your president, or if it was Hunter Biden that was your president. I don't know. But it wasn't Joe Biden making these calls. You know, you can go back and you can look at Joe Biden's speeches about illegal immigrants when he was a member of Congress, and you can see that he was on the same side as Republicans and conservatives about this. Republicans and conservatives are all for people coming to America for a better way of life and to escape violence for themselves and their families. We're all for that. We're all, everybody. If you're alive today in America and you're an American citizen, your background is immigrant, period. Unless you were born here and your family was born here and they were Indians. Not the dot, the feather type. That's the only true-blooded Americans. And then what did America do? We took their land. And in return, years later, gave them casinos. It's pathetic. It drives me insane to know that just a few years ago, I supported the Democrat Party. And to watch what they're doing right now and how they're turning a blind eye to the violence that's happening in our streets and siding with those people doing the violence. There needs to be another word besides disgusting, because it's worse than that. What type of human being that's in charge, an elected official, that will do something like this and put them over you? Somebody that's subhuman, that's who. Satan's spawn, that's who. And yet, no matter how much truth I bring to you, no matter how much I expose of that fucking party that I used to belong to, there are still those that call me a conspiracy theorist and I made all this shit up and I don't know what I'm fucking talking about, when I've got the background and the awards and the records to prove you to be a fucking idiot. What's happening in LA didn't have to happen. The Democrats over there and the Democrats in Washington, D.C. should be supporting the American people over this chaos. And they're not. They're not. Because they don't care about you. And they made it very, very clear. And if you don't see that, I feel sorry for you. Because you're on a runaway train. It's going off a cliff really, really fast. It's sinking faster than the Titanic did. And slowly but surely, more and more Democrats are waking up and realizing what that party really is. And we're not even going to talk tonight about the racism in the party. I've done that till I'm blue in the face about how they're the most racist party that ever existed in America. From fighting against Abraham Lincoln freeing the slaves, to fighting to keep segregation, to founding the KKK and Planned Parenthood to kill off African-American babies. And look at your cities right now run by Democrat mayors. They're the shithole of society. And the black communities are just poor and run down and in deep, deep poverty. Because the racism never left. Hell, read Hillary Clinton's biography, where she praises her mentor. I'll leave it at that. Check it out. He was a member of the Klan. But yet, I'm the conspiracy theorist. Folks, thank you for joining me tonight. I'll be back tomorrow night for the regular show. I'm sure we'll have more to talk about. Sadly, people are going to die here soon. Didn't have to come to this. Wish it hadn't come to this. And I do hope that people are held accountable for what's going on. As always, please say a prayer for our men and women in uniform and law enforcement that are risking their lives right now to protect you and the citizens of LA, and the military that are doing the exact same thing and to protect us from terrorists that want to kill us. The first responders that are out there risking their lives, all their families, our angel families, our blue and gold star families. And if you don't know what angel families are or blue and gold star families, Google that tonight, because they need our support. The Biden-Harris administration pissed on the graves of their loved ones, and that is a fact you can take to the bank. And that's un-American. Thank you. God bless you. Please, please, if you believe in the power of prayer, send it to the people, the men and women in uniform tonight that are risking their lives to bring safety to the streets of not just LA, but all across the United States of America. God bless you. And I'll see you tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central Time. Good night, everyone.